recording here. It's going to feel like you're sipping water from a fire hose, and you'll retain maybe 10% of what I teach you tonight. But here's what my hope is that 10%, whatever it is you take away from this, will blow your business up tomorrow in a good way. Okay, you guys ready? All right. Now I've got everybody muted, and I will continue to do that as people pop on, just to keep the distraction down. But I want you guys to know that if you feel the spirit move you and you want to say something, just unmute and go for it. That's totally cool with me. I will also do a full Q&A at the end. So if you hang out to the end, I'll answer all your questions. Okay. All right. So again, my name's Eric Johnson, creator and CEO of Teamzy. I'm excited to be here with you guys. Let me go ahead and share my screen. We'll start the presentation here. All right. This is what I want to talk to you about tonight. How to leverage relationship marketing to become a power hour boss. Yes, I'm going to show you Teamzy, which is software that will help you do this. But first, I want to teach you some of the fundamental principles of relationship marketing, because Teamzy is not just a tool. It's actually built on a system that's been around a long time. We call it relationship marketing, which is not, by the way, selling things to the people you know. Relationship marketing is building a business based on actual relationships, okay? But it's a system that you follow. So I'm going to show you this. It's also an approach, and it's very different than a lot of what you may have been taught in network marketing, because this seems to be, everyone says it's about relationships, but then teaches you tactics that are not relational and that are that damage the trust in a relationship. So I'm going to show you guys there's a better way to do it, a way that you can actually love on people, you can build a business with heart, you can serve people, and one more thing, not actually damage any relationships in the process, and even better results. You'll get better results this way. Who's in? Anyone? Okay, good. All right, so let's jump in here. A little bit about my backstory for those of you guys who don't know me. Thank you, by the way, Cheyenne, for that great introduction. I come from a background of business coaching and consulting. I've been helping people build their business by relationship for 16 years now. I come from an industry, primarily worked with people in the real estate and mortgage industries for a long time, teaching these principles. I fell into network marketing by accident myself. How many of you guys fell into network marketing by accident? Yeah, right? I mean, I didn't think I would ever do that. I actually found some products that I really liked, and they helped me lose weight, get healthy, life-changing stuff. How many of you guys have had life-changing results? That's me. And so I had a career that I liked. I was proud of. I had a great job. I made well beyond six figures in my career. I mean, I wasn't looking for anything, but I fell in love with the product line and I couldn't help sharing it. And that's what happens to so many of us. And once I saw the incredible opportunity that network marketing presented as a business, the first thing I thought was, well, I don't have time for this, but it's a great opportunity. So how can I leverage my time? See, I started thinking like a coach, coaching myself. I need a tool or tools that will leverage my time. How can I be more efficient? So I started going out and looking for technology, by the way, which exists for lots of industries, just not ours, that would help me do all the things that I needed to do, all my income producing activities. I wanted to get them done in a power hour. In other words, less than 1 hour a day, because that's all I had. And I knew it was possible. Here's the thing, couldn't find anything out there. There was a few things out there that helped you be organized, but they were actually more complicated than not being organized. Anybody experience that? Not only that, but they were based on this whole, like, I don't even know the name for it. It's like the go for no philosophy of our industry. They like churn through your list, invite everybody, figure out who's interested, and whoever's not, you throw them over your shoulder like a dead body and move on. Anybody been taught that kind of approach? And then what happens is, you become like Ned in that movie Groundhog Day. When you're coming down the street, people cross to avoid you, right? They don't want to get pitched anymore. I call it the Ned Ryerson syndrome. How many of you guys are just terrified of being the icky salesperson in this scenario? So I'm going to teach you tonight how to do it without being icky. I wanted to find a tool that was based on relationships. Couldn't find anything. So we built it. That's the story behind Teamzy. We built it. It's just a little over 2 years old now. We've had more than 60,000 network marketers use Teamzy, which is awesome. We're in 50 different networks. And it's been amazing to watch these principles I'm going to teach you tonight being applied systematically as people build business. The other thing that's really cool about this is when you build relationships, it takes away a lot of the competition between you and other reps because they're your relationships. Make sense? Okay, let's do this. If I don't keep moving, I'll just sit here and talk to you about each slide for the rest of the day. All right, so let's get started. What is relationship marketing? What is relationship marketing? I already told you it's not about selling things to the people you know, but I want you guys to have a mindset shift right here. And that's this. Relationship marketing is a lead generation system. It's a lead generation system. Okay, and that's a system that initiates consumer interest or inquiry into the products or services of a business. In other words, we're not just going to be hugging on our customers and singing kumbaya with them. This is actually a system that will grow your business that you can predict and forecast, okay? And the reason why I want you to understand that it's a lead generation business is because amazing health supplements and products like that, that's not your business. Your business is lead generation, okay? If I can get my slides here to work. Come on. All right, hold on a second, guys. Let me relaunch this. You are in the lead generation business. See if it'll work for me. There we go. You are in the lead generation business. Okay. So what do I mean by this? I mean, it doesn't matter how many customers you signed up today. Okay. How many promoters you signed on. If you didn't do the activities that generate new business for you, your income producing activities, you didn't work on building your business today. Make sense? It's just a mindset. It's just a mindset. Okay, and then why is that important? Why is it important to generate new leads? It's because of this next principle. Developing and deepening relationships is your paramount duty as a business owner. Developing and deepening relationships is your paramount duty as a business owner. Now listen, you guys, I don't know if we have anybody here with a fancy MBA. You guys can chime in later. But in business school, they teach you that the duty of a business is to generate profit. I'm here to tell you that as a business owner, your duty is to develop and deepen relationships. Now, if you keep your focus there, the profit takes care of itself, right? Not only that, but you have a business you can be proud of every day. Make sense? So we generate new leads. In other words, we meet new people so that we can develop relationships with them. That's the primary goal. And through those relationships, we're able to help people. We're able to solve problems with the products and services we provide, right? Okay. So what we do with relationships over time is we turn them into advocates. We turn relationships to advocates by investing time and providing outstanding service. An advocate is somebody who's excited about what you're doing and they're telling other people about it. How many of you guys are advocates for products and companies? They don't pay you a dime. We all are. That's the way we're wired. And so we're creating advocates. The traditional system and approach will create a few team members and customers, and everyone else, it will turn off. In this system, we'll still create those customers and team members, but everyone else will become our advocates over time. Does that make sense? Okay. Here's the next principle. Relationship marketing depends on trust. You know, this always happens when they do an update and I don't bother to download it. You guys ever do that? I got this today. When I turned it on, it said, there's an update. Would you like to download it? I said, no, ignore it. I'm about to jump on the live call. Now it doesn't work. All right, let's try it again. But just be patient with it. If not, we'll just doom static. Relationship marketing depends on trust. Okay, another way to say this, guys, is this. If you're a jerk, this ain't gonna work. Okay? How many of you guys have that in your intro meeting when you have a new promoter and you sit down with them and you talk about the business and you just look them in the eye, take them by both wrists and say, hey, I just want you to know if you're a jerk, this ain't going to work. Try that one. You may flush a few out. It's important, guys. This depends on trust. And it drives me nuts. Everything I see, not everything, but most of the training I see is based on trickery, deception. Some call it creating intrigue or creating curiosity. That's just, just be honest. It's about trust. And I'm going to show you guys how to do this, but this is what's fun. Trust makes the work fun. Trust makes the work fun. You don't have to convince people if they trust you. You can get right to helping them. There's no selling. It's just, I trust you. I need help. Can you solve my problem? Yes, I can. Let's get to work. Also, oh, what happened? Okay, there we go. That's okay. Went backwards. Great. I just discovered a new keystroke on my Mac. If I drag 2 fingers, it goes backwards. Cool. Trust takes away the ickiness. The ickiness. How many of you guys think ickiness should be a technical business term? I do. I use it like that. It takes the ickiness away. If there's trust, there's no ickiness, okay, on either side. Also, you get to go for yes. So instead of this go for no process, you're going for yes. Everybody you're talking to is either a yes now or a yes in the future or a yes, I will bring you my friends and family who need help with this. Pretty cool. So how do you build trust? How do you actually do it? I'm going to give you guys the 4 essential ingredients to building trust. I'll break them out quickly, and then I'll go into them with a little bit of depth. And don't worry, we'll be in Teamzy soon, but I want you guys to get these foundational pieces first before I show you the software. So there's 4 ingredients to building trust. First one's chemistry. Chemistry. Then character is number 2. Character. Number 3 is competence. And number 4 is consistency. Chemistry, character, competence, consistency. Okay. You like that they all start with C? Yeah. It took me about 300 times teaching this topic before I got them all to start with C, but eventually I got them there. How to build trust. Chemistry. Number 1. Chemistry is where you have common ground with someone. What is it about you they can relate to? What is it about you they can relate to? Isn't it true that it's hard to do business with someone you don't like? It's hard, right? I think the only time that we make that exception might be brain surgeons and attorneys. Right? Otherwise, we're like, you're a jerk. I'm not working with you. Chemistry, it's about finding what you have in common with somebody. Asking questions, figuring it out. You have things in common with every person on the planet. Do you believe your product is something that everybody needs? So you then figure out what you have in common with people and help them. Now, why do I even bother with this? It's so obvious. How many of you think this one's pretty obvious? Sorry, you can raise your hands. I bother with this because I feel like when I go on social media, everybody is focused on what's not in common. They're focused on where they disagree. It seems like everyone is always talking about where they disagree. So you just got to think about yourself and figuring out, finding chemistry and saying, look, if I have a heart to help people with this solution, then I need to find common ground with those people. Okay. Number 2 is character. Character is when you demonstrate how much you care and that you're relatable. Character is when you demonstrate how much you care and that you are relatable. The key word here is demonstrate. Character is not something you have, it's something you do. Okay, character is not something you have, it's something you do. Little side note, love's the same way. Love's not something you have, it's something you do. Would you ever say, I fell in character with that person? Right? I just don't feel in character. Well, actually, you could say that if you're an actor or something. My point is, it's something, both of those are examples of words that we've worked. They're things that we do. You don't own it. You can't have it. You got to do it. They're actions. And character is something you demonstrate. So, and I bring this up because it's so important that everything you do as a business owner, by the way, you guys, who you are as a person is not a separate entity from yourself as a business owner. You are the same entity. You understand that, right? You are your brand. So everything you do, not just what you do in your business, but everything you do needs to be demonstrating your character so people can trust you as a relationship and as a business owner. So everything that you do, you need to be demonstrating care for other people. You need to be showing them that you're relatable. When you get to the lofty levels of your company and you're making ridiculous amounts of income, you still need to be relatable to the person who's struggling to pay the electric bill this month, right? You need to be serving and helping them. So this is why it's so important that you demonstrate character in everything you do. Okay. Number 3 is competence. Competence is when you demonstrate you're good at what you do and you're a business person. Okay. Competence is when you demonstrate you're good at what you do and you're a business person. I need to know, can you help me with my specific problem? Do you know enough about your product to help me to recommend the right course, the right products to solve my problem? And number 2, now that you've helped me and it's changed my life and I'm so excited and I want to join the business, do I believe that you are competent enough to mentor me in this business? They're the 2 things I need you to demonstrate to me. Now, anybody on the call that's new-ish or new? Yeah. Have you guys ever been told, just fake it till you make it? I mean, I'm sure you've heard it, not from Cheyenne, but I'm sure you've heard it. Just fake it till you make it. Now, listen, without going off on a tangent, I won't go off on a tangent. Just don't do that. Don't fake it till you make it, okay? And don't draw purple lines through my presentation while I'm talking. I'm just kidding. One of you did that, though. It's okay. All right, so don't fake it till you make it. This is about building trust. You just be you. Now, you don't need to fake it, because is it not true that your team is amazing in their competence? Do you have team members that know these products inside and out? Yes. Do you have amazing leadership that will help you bring a new person on and do everything they need to be successful? So you don't need to fake it. You need to lean into your team, lean into your upline, lean into your sideline, whoever it is that you have available to you. When you're new, don't fake it. Say, hey, I'm new, but I am part of the most incredible team. These people that we're going to plug into together know all the information that we need and will help us. Make sense? So when you're new, lean into your team. When you are bringing a new person on, say, teach them to lean into you until they have demonstrated their own competence. The truth is faking it isn't going to work, because the people that they know, their family and their friends, they remember what they did that night in college, and all the goofy things you've done. And so it's going to take a long time for you to demonstrate your competence to them. You need to lean into the competence of your team. Make sense? I'm 45 years old, and my parents are just now looking at me like, maybe he does know a couple things about business. Great. And then they still ask me, did you brush your teeth today? Principle. Just kidding, they don't. But how many parents, don't you have to ask every day that question? It's so funny. Here's the principle these are based on. People only care about 3 things. Can I trust you? Do you care about me? Are you good at what you do? Can I trust you? Do you care about me? Are you good at what you do? These are the questions people ask kind of on a subconscious. Science-minded people will say subconsciously they ask these questions. I say they ask them in their heart. These are heart questions. Whenever you have an objection that comes up in your business, they're coming from these questions. Even though those people can't articulate that, that's what they're feeling. And so you just need to know, as you're building your relationship, oh, I see an objection. What does that mean? Yes, overcome the objection, but keep working on the relationship. Keep investing in building that trust with that person. Does that make sense? Especially when you bring somebody on your team after overcoming objections, you just got to know, like, they're in, but they're not stable. I need to continue building trust and investing in them so that I can get them emotionally stable to be really engaged in this team culture. Make sense? Okay. Oh, see, that purple line is still going to be there. I think if I stop my share and get rid of the purple line, hold on. You guys don't even know who did it. There, the purple line's gone. Great. Next one is consistency. Number 4, consistency. Consistency. I love this principle. I actually paraphrase this from one of my favorite books. Oh, great. No, it doesn't work. Got no purple line, but this thing doesn't work again. Let's try it again. Here we go. Now it's working. People respect consistency and desire it for themselves. People respect consistency and desire it for themselves. This is from one of my favorite books. And by the way, if you guys haven't read this book, I always recommend this when I do this training. It is probably the seminal work on social behavior. Here, I'll show it to you. It's called Influence, the Psychology of Persuasion. Can you guys see that? Here, I have it on my screen too. The title, if I can get this thing to work again. Oh, it doesn't work. Well, it's talking to me. It's making noise like something's working. There it is. There it is on the screen, okay? Influence, Psychology of Persuasion by Robert Cialdini. Robert Cialdini is the Einstein of social science. And he's alive now. He's only in his 50s, which is great. He's doing great work all the time. So his work is amazing. If you guys don't like to read, he did a TED Talk on the 6 chapters of this book. You can find the TED Talk. Really good stuff. But he talks about how important consistency is. But look, you don't need to read his book to know this. How many of you guys have kids? Is it important to be consistent with your kids to build trust? Yeah, and it's true with people. It's the number one thing of everything I've showed you. Being consistent is how you do it. Because the bottom line is, a lot of you guys are going to jump into Teamzy tonight. You're going to see me present on it in a minute. You're going to be like, oh my gosh, this is the bee's knees. I can't wait to do this. And you're going to find that with some of the people you know, it's going to take a while before they warm up. Why? Because you haven't ever been consistent with that relationship before. And what do you need to do to build trust? You got to be consistent. It's like when somebody tells you, I'm going to be a new person starting today. It's like, great, good. Let's see how that goes in 6 months, right? Consistency is huge. People respect it and desire it for themselves. But this is why people will tell you they're inspired by you. How many of you guys have been told, I'm inspired by you and what you're doing? Yeah. And this is amazing, right? And humbling, like, you're inspired by me. I'm just a normal person like you. But what is it about you that's inspiring them? It's this principle. They see you being consistent. They respect it. They want some of that in their own life. Now, what's cool about this is being consistent not only will build trust, but it actually attracts new people to your business. They want to be part of your tribe, part of your culture. They want to be like you. When I was a kid, the Nike ads were "Be like Mike," right? Michael Jordan, "Be like Mike." It was like, why? Because he's awesome. Because he's consistent. Because he works hard at it. And he's the best. Everyone wanted to be like him. That's the same thing with you guys. Now, how many of you guys would say you're consistently a product of your product? Good. Hopefully it's everybody, right? Product of your product. How about sharing your story online, social media presence, sharing what you're doing? How many of you guys are pretty consistent with that stuff? Good. It's important. In fact, when you get into Teamzy, you'll see this little checkbox every day that asks, did you use your product today? And did you share on social today? So here's what I really want to ask you guys. Are you as consistent with your relationships? Okay, and this is, as Zig Zigler would say, the checkup from the neck up. Are you as consistent with your relationships? Are you consistently in touch with people? Okay, are you as consistent about staying in touch as you are, say, about posting on social media? Now, I have to tell you, when I started my business, because I was well networked, and I had spent a lot of time building my network because that was my job as a business coach, I would post an offer to join me on social media, and I'd get some responses. How many of you guys have gotten some responses like that? And if you did a post like that, like, wow, this is what I'm doing, come join my business, and you got 5 people who said, that looks interesting, I'd like to learn more. How many of you would think that's a home run? Yeah. But then again, how many people saw the post? Is that even 1%? So this is what I want you guys to know, is that people won't believe you till they see you. People won't believe you till they see you. In other words, there are people watching you. They're watching what you're doing and they like it, but you're not relatable to them because they haven't heard from you. You're like watching a television show. They see you as a TV show. They like to watch your journey. They're happy for you. They're excited that the business is doing so much for you, but they don't believe you're inviting them personally. Why? Because you haven't talked to them since high school. And I know your post says, everyone join me, but they don't believe it. Does that make sense? They need to see that if you really care about the relationship with them, you need to make contact with them. Relationship building is a contact sport. You need to be in regular contact with people. Okay, and I know your time is scarce. Here's the good news. I'm going to show you with Teamzy how you can manage a huge list of contacts in a short amount of time a day and stay in touch with all of them. How cool is that? But you got to be in regular contact with them. Here's the principle. Investing time and connecting with people is the only way to deepen relationships. Investing time and connecting with people is the only way to deepen relationships. I say it with emphasis because it's true. And sometimes if you think about it, you're like, really? I guess that's right. Let me just give you guys a quick example and then we'll jump into Teamzy, okay? Okay, where are all my props? Excuse me a second. I think I flung it the other day when I was teaching this. Yes, I did. I have a flair for the dramatic. So how many of you guys, oh my gosh, look at how many of you guys don't have your cameras on. Are you even here? You guys are in the other room doing nothing. I don't believe you. Oh, okay, there we go. Jennifer was the quickest to turn her camera on. You get an extra brownie point. The rest of you guys, while you're in the kitchen, make me a sandwich too, please. Okay, quick example. And it's okay if you're in the dark or you don't have makeup on. I can't really see you anyways, but I just like to know you're present. How many of you guys have ever received a really great card from somebody you care about? Like a great card. And the kind where it's mostly a handwritten message. Yeah? A couple of you have heard me tell this story before. In fact, I just went to the store and bought cards for my wife. Her birthday's next week. She's going to be 40, big one. And I always buy 2 cards. I buy like the sappy lovey card and I buy the funny card, right? And I usually write something a little off color in the funny one that we hide from the kids. That's just something I do. But you guys ever received a card like that was like really heartfelt and gave you like an emotional feeling, right? Okay, so when you get a card like that and you read it, what do you do after you've read it? Do you crumble it up and throw it in the trash? How many of you guys save those cards? To the point where you almost at times go, I wish I could throw these away because they're taking up space, but I can't. Most people will save those cards and forever. And in fact, when people pass away, it's often what's most treasured by their family are the cards and letters that are left behind, right? That had that emotional impact for them. So here's another example. How many of you guys have ever received one of these? This is a postcard, happy birthday postcard, and it's from my insurance sales guy, my life insurance guy. Yeah, you guys ever get these? Do any of you guys sell life insurance? One time I got somebody that was a little offended by this example, but hey, it's an educational thing. This is a postcard that says happy birthday. So you get one of these, it's nice, right? Oh, that was nice. And you might think about that person for half a second. Then what do you do with this? Does this go in the special place? No, in fact, I had to go dig it off the floor in my corner because I usually fling it over my shoulder, right? We throw these away. In fact, I live in Southern California, so we're one of those, probably a lot of you guys do this, where we drive right into the garage and then it's like closing the castle doors behind you, right? And so actually in my garage, before I get to the house, right inside the door of the garage, I have a shredder and a trash can. That's where the mail goes before it even makes it into my house, most of the mail. And this would typically go in the trash, but I saved it to make fun of every time I do this training. Why is this get thrown away and the other one gets kept? Isn't it a nice message? In fact, if you look at it, it almost looks like it's handwritten, even though it's not really, it's fake handwriting. This does not have any value because it took no time. You guys understand that? This took no time and it has no value. He did not invest any time in me. Whereas the handwritten note, the handwritten card was an investment of time, which is the most valuable thing. How many of you guys have received a letter or a card from like the CEO of the company, or like something like that? And does it mean a lot? Does it or like the president of not the CEO of where you work. I'm talking about Le-Vel. Like, anyone receive one of those where you have like the card? I have one here from Beachbody somewhere. I still have it. Look, I haven't been a Beachbody coach in 2 years. I still have a handwritten card I got from the CEO. Why is it so valuable? It's even more valuable if you perceive somebody has less time and they gave you some of it, right? The investment of time is what deepens the relationship. And when you do things to build your business, like post on social and things like that, you'll get some result from them. But you have to understand, people know it didn't take that much time. So it's not as valuable. When you reach out directly to somebody and say, hey, Jennifer, I was thinking about you today out of the blue. And I just thought I'd say, hey, how are you? How have you been? It's like, wow, he just took the time out of his day to say hi to me, as opposed to casting a net and hoping I'll catch it. Does that make sense? It makes all the difference. That personal connection, that little bit of investment time. Now, I'm not saying you need to write people love notes and cards, though that is a great thing to do whenever you can, right? Especially for your team and your best customers. But just even messaging somebody. And I'm going to show you tonight how impactful messaging somebody on Facebook Messenger or texting somebody can be. Okay? Especially when you have a system so that you're doing it in a way where people are like, wow, she's really on top of everything. She's so organized. And you're like, oh, if you only knew, right? If you only knew how hard it was to find 2 socks that match in my life. Okay. The struggle's real. Let me get back in here. Let's see here. Where are we? So remember that, you guys. Investing time and connecting with people is the only way to deepen a relationship. All right, so we're about to get into Teamzy. This is what you need, though. So I've taught you a little bit about the principles. How many of you guys feel like relationship marketing is kind of where your heart is? You're like, okay, we're speaking the same language. Okay, good. You found your tribe with us. But it's more than just caring for people. You need a system. You need a system. You need a way to actually stay in contact with all your relationships consistently. Okay? You need to know when to contact them, and it's not written here, but also when not to, right? In other words, how often is right, and how do I stay in contact with everybody? You need to know what to say. In other words, I don't want you getting stuck on one person going, what am I going to say to this person? I haven't talked to them in 25 years. You just need to know, how can I start a conversation? What's an easy way to do it? And also make sure that nobody falls through the cracks. You got to have a system so nobody falls through the cracks. How many of you guys, when you saw that bullet point, falls through the cracks, it like hit you right in the gut? Because you got people falling through the cracks. Okay, we're going to show you the system tonight to make sure people don't fall through the cracks. Even the people you don't think are falling through the cracks, maybe. You may have some aha moments when I talk about follow-up here in a couple of minutes. that may get you excited to go talk to people you think aren't interested. All right, let's jump out of here. Let's go back to Teamzy. I'm gonna actually show you, hey, do you guys wanna see Teamzy? Is that why you're here? All right, here we go. I'm still looking at names and writing them down, people who are hiding behind their cameras. Don't think I'm not. All right, hold on, let me get here, here we go. All right, so now you're looking at my Teamzy dashboard, okay? This is my Le-Vel specific custom version of Teamzy. By the way, Cheyenne mentioned it in the beginning of the call, but I want you guys to know that we do a free trial of Teamzy. It's free for 30 days, 100% free. We don't ask for your credit card or anything weird like that, right? It's all about trust. So we want you to use it for free and fall in love. Obviously, we want you to be part of our Teamzy family forever so we can be part of your success story. But I honestly believe this, you guys. If you do what I'm about to show you, I'm going to demonstrate Teamzy for you right now. If you do this for 30 days and do what I'm going to show you, it will be a no-brainer. You will generate income in your first 30 days that pays for this, okay? So I don't want you to sweat that at all. I don't care if you haven't made a dime ever, okay? If you're a human being with a heart and a desire to help people, and you have an internet access or a phone that has it, you're in, okay? All right, so this is the Teamzy dashboard. I'm gonna take you through setup first, and then I'll actually demonstrate how to crush a power hour. So remember, Teamzy is built on two things. One is relationship marketing, which we've been talking about. The second is the concept of the power hour, the idea that you can get everything done in less than an hour a day. I see we got some more notes going on the side. That's all good. So, all right. We got a big group here. Stuff like that's bound to happen. All right, so let's jump in. When you first get into your free trial, you'll jump into a setup wizard to start. The setup wizard helps you set up Teamzy. Okay, it's really pretty easy. For those of you, how many of you guys feel like you're tech averse? Yeah, that's me too. That's why I built this, by the way. I don't know how to use technology. I don't know how this stuff works. Somebody was asking me the other day, so have you always been interested in computer programming? I'm like, I don't even know what that is. I have smart guys that do that stuff. If you guys, look, I'll give you a little bonus here. You want to see how I designed Teamzy? This is the original notebook. Can you guys see that? Wait, I gotta stop my share so you can see this. I'm gonna show you guys. This is the original book. Can you guys see like my designs? Look at those designs. Are they gorgeous or what? And then after I paid somebody to look at it, I started getting stuff back like this. That looks more like Teamzy today. He's like, so you mean like the circles? I don't quite understand from that terrible drawing you just did, Eric. I don't understand tech either. So here's what I want you guys to know. If you're tech averse, we have made this as easy as possible, okay? But we also have help all over this thing. There's a help button that floats on every screen. You can click that and send us a message. Our team will help you. We have a help center over here with videos and FAQs that'll walk you through everything. But if in the end, if you're just one of those people, like if you're one of those people that's just like, you walk into the store and say, the first person, you know, I don't even want to look around, just help me find. You can just start with that help button and somebody from my team will walk you through it just like I'm going to show you today, okay? So you can get to your setup wizard anytime from this little wheel on the top right. Let's go through this real quick. You guys feel special? You saw the original sketch. Not on a napkin though, I'm more organized than that. It was on graph paper. All right. 3 things we're gonna do in the setup wizard. 1, we're gonna set an income goal. We're just gonna set a goal. How much money do you wanna be making a year from now? Easy? You guys already have that number in your mind? Then we're gonna create a powerful why. This is important. You need the why or you'll end up quitting. I'll talk to you about that in a second. And then we're gonna get your contacts into Teamzy, all your lists, so it's all in one place organized, so you guys aren't chasing around pads of paper. Oh my gosh, where's that piece of paper where I write this stuff down? Or trying to figure out a spreadsheet that somebody shared with you that you can't even figure out how to open or you haven't updated in 6 months. How many of you guys have one of those spreadsheets you haven't updated in 6 months? I've even had people tell me that they use a sticky note system. And what cracks me up, do you guys remember Evan, is it Evan Almighty, the Jim Carrey movie? Do you guys remember that movie when he tried to use a sticky note system to organize the world's prayers? And it was like, that's the video I always send to people, the clip when they tell me they use sticky notes. Okay. We're going to get everything into Teamzy so that you can be super organized. Guys, it will always be with you because it lives in your phone. You meet somebody at the grocery store, boom, boom, boom. You don't have to remember. You put them in Teamzy, you set the follow-up, done. It's done. You don't have to go home and do it. Make sense? Okay, let's get started. Let's get your income goal set. This is an empty box. I put 150,000 in as my income goal. This is the level I wanted to be at a year from now. Okay? What's your number? Just put it in there. Okay, this is the income level you'd like to be at a year from now. Now, look, you may have a goal of being a billionaire, but that is not an appropriate goal to put in yet. This is your 12-month goal. Make sense? Okay, now, if you are already let's say you already make $150,000 a year from your Le-Vel business, and you want to move that to 300 next year, then you're going to put the difference in. So if you've already got a significant income, just put in the difference. Make sense? The amount of growth. If you're starting from scratch, put in the total number. What this will do is Teamzy will take this number and backward engineer it based on the typical results somebody will get using this system and tell you what to do on a daily basis to hit it. Okay? This is super important because you need to keep your focus small if you want to grow your business big. You need to keep your focus small if you want to grow your business big. Okay? Guys, if you didn't write that one down, get that one down. Now, the next page gives me my total. So I need to, in order to hit 150 in 12 months, I need to connect with 4,348 people. Is that a lot? How many of you guys think that 4,348 people is a lot? Anybody live in a small town smaller than that? Yeah, I grew up in a town smaller than that. Good thing we have the internet, isn't it? Yes, thank you, Lord, for the internet. I love it. Somebody was asking me the other day, you know, a couple of my friends were talking to like preppers, and I go, you know, the worst thing about some sort of event like that would be that the internet went away. At least for us, for doing this business. All right, let's go. Next, continue. This page is the breakdown. If you need to eat an elephant, how do you do it? One bite at a time. This breaks it down. 3 groups: prospects, customers, promoters. And then it takes it down monthly, weekly, and daily. So that huge number, it was 4,348, now has a daily target. I'm going to connect with 9 prospects a day, 6 current customers a day, and 4 promoters. By the way, when I say customers, I just want to clarify this. I mean all your customers, not just the ones you might consider current customers. All your customers. Anyone who's ever bought something from you is a customer. Okay? That's my definition. Because I want you guys to know that even if, because I'm not sure how Le-Vel does it, but a lot of companies, if they're not current, they drop them off your list or whatever. But anyone who's ever bought from you is a customer and will buy again. Okay? All right. So then those are my goals for the day based on my income goal. Now, if you're brand new and you have no promoters on your team, make that one a 0, just write over it. And then add the 4 over to your prospects. Okay? Same thing if you have no customers. You'll just be focusing on prospects in the beginning. Make sense? So this mix is assuming that you've got a little bit of a team going on. Now, you can change these numbers to whatever you want. You know, what you get on this page is the suggestion from Teamzy based on your income goal, and then you can change it to whatever you want. I changed this, by the way, that 9 to 10 because I wanted an even 20. I'm just a little OCD, just wanted an even 20. So these are your connects. Connects are just reaching out to start a conversation, just to say hello. A connect is not a cold invite. Okay? It is not an attempt to recruit somebody. It's just reaching out to say hello. The goal of a connect, there's 2 goals. Make someone's day. We call it the make someone's day mindset, and start a conversation. That's what we hope to do. We will almost always succeed in make someone's day, and half the time we'll start a conversation. How cool is that? Invites, right here, this next box. Invites is when we're actually inviting somebody to learn about the business, to join an opportunity call, to go to coffee, to get on a 3-way call, you know, whatever it is that you guys have going on, that's an invite. So you'll notice that my goal in this case is to connect with 20 people today and invite 3, which means 17 of my connects are not going to go that direction. Make sense? Not yet. Maybe the next time I talk to them or the time after that, they'll be interested. See, I invite people when I've discovered they're interested in learning more. I do that through having a conversation with them. This is how relationship marketing builds a relationship without alienating people. See, sales is solving a problem, right? How many of you believe sales is helping someone solve a problem? You can't solve a problem that they don't have or that they don't recognize they have. Make sense? That's why it's not appropriate to invite everybody you talk to. First, you need to have a conversation. You need to figure out what they need, what they want, where they struggle, and help them however you can. Sometimes it'll be with your business. Ads, these are just new people you're adding to your list. Make sense? Okay, So once you have these goals set the way you want, you click continue, and it will set up your dashboard based on your personal goals. Every one of you will have a custom dashboard to your goals, which, by the way, you can change anytime and modify as you go. Okay, cool. Next is finding your why. I feel like I'm talking fast, but I need to speed up. All right, here we go. Finding your why. How many of you guys have heard somebody talk to you about the why, and that is so important? You got to know your why in this business. Have you guys been told that? I see Cheyenne nodding, so I have a feeling she might have mentioned it a few times. Here's the ugly truth. 1 out of 2 people in this business quit their first year. Have any of you experienced that? 1 out of 2 quit their first year. Do you think the opportunity was not as good for them as it is for you? Some of you guys might even be thinking about it, but hopefully we'll fire you up tonight. We'll get some heat in your belly. This is why you need a why. You got to have a why. Now, just quick, I love this analogy. I'm going to borrow it because, you know, the best content is borrowed, not created. Darren Hardy in his book, The Compound Effect. Anyone read The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy? Great book. He talks about the why in one of his chapters. And the example he gives is, you know, if I put a balance beam, you know, like the gymnastics balance beams right across the ground, how many of you would walk across it for $20? Totally. I wish I could do that right now for $20. Now, if I put that balance beam across the spires of 2 80-story skyscrapers, how many of you would walk across it for $20? No way. Well, I mean, there might be one person on this call who's just into that kind of stuff, right? That would just do it for the attention. How many of you would do it for the attention, not the $20? Okay. You don't have to raise your hand. So the example was, if the other building was on fire, there's no way you would walk across it, right? Onto a fiery skyscraper. But if your children were on that roof that's on fire, how many of you would scurry across that scary beam to get your children? The difference is the reason why. Do you guys see that analogy? The reason why is everything. Now, it's unfair to use your children. How many of you guys are moms? But your children are going to be a part of your why. That's part of why we exist. I mean, it's part of our purpose, right? Is to take care of them. So you just need to figure out your why, and you have to get it out, and it has to be in front of your face, because it's a constant reminder. How many remember in the beginning of the call I said we need to be reminded more than taught? We need to have your why in front of you, because here is the truth. You will quit. Every single one of you and me, but you know, all of us, we're hardwired as quitters. We're quitters. And it's hard to hear that, but it's true. We are designed to keep ourselves safe, and we run from danger whenever possible. There are exceptions where we stand and we are successful and we persist and we do amazing things, right? And every one of you has muscle memories of both, of quitting and being incredibly successful. The difference was always when you had a reason to. And I'm going to share with you guys my story in a second. If you're here to make a couple extra bucks, you can take extra money or leave it, right? So you have to get deeper. You have to get deeper and go through this process of finding your why. This will help you be successful and will help you get momentum. For you guys that are leaders on the team or aspiring leaders, you need to bring new people through this process as soon as possible before life washes them away. Because I will tell you, things happen in life that are dramatic, right? Have you guys experienced that? Every 4 months, something happens to somebody that's enough to set them off their business. But beyond the big stuff, boredom, I just don't feel like it today. Those kind of things kill businesses. Okay? So you need this. Let me take you through the process. We've demystified this. You don't need to go to a sweat lodge in Sedona to figure out your why. You don't need to go, right? You don't have to do anything weird like that. You don't have to read 25 books on it. You already know it. It's right here in your heart. I'm going to give you guys a couple questions to help you think, get your mind going, that will bring it out of you. Okay? So one of the things I always say, I'm going to ask you these 5 questions, but we talked about your kids. Like, one thing I would just say to you is this, are there any things that you believe in so strongly that you would never compromise them? Do you guys have beliefs like that? You don't have to answer. I'm just saying yes or no question. And do you have things that you believe in, or people that you love or care about, that you would literally give your life to protect? Okay. Now you're kind of scratching the surface of where we're going to go with your why. Does that make sense? Because you need that kind of motivation to get you through the feelings of, I don't feel like doing it today. So let's do this. I'm going to go through and I'll share my story. I'll share my story as an example. You just kind of put your own story in your mind as we do it. Why did you become a promoter? Now, in my case, I was a Beachbody coach, but it's very similar, actually, the product offerings. And the reason why I did that was it helped me lose weight. I lost 60 pounds. It was life-changing, right? I got fit, lost 60 pounds. I was excited. I was excited about the new energy and vitality that I had. And people were asking me about it all the time. What are you doing? And I told them. My wife said, can't you get paid for all those people you're referring over to them? And I looked into it. Sure enough, I could. So I signed up. Real deep, right? I wasn't at this point thinking about, I'm going to change this industry. We're going to bring heart back into it. We're going to teach people love-centered business. No, I just was like, okay, sign me up. What did you hope to accomplish? Next question. I just wanted to make $500 a month extra money. Anybody right now, $500 a month would be cool. I think $500 a month is cool for anybody, no matter what level you're at, right? It's extra money, but that's all I wanted to accomplish. I wanted $500 a month extra money. Why is that important to you? Next question. So this process is just to get you thinking. I wanted to save it. I didn't want $500 a month to go spend on stuff. I wanted to save it. So just a little backstory. So let's say you're talking to a team member and they say, well, I'd like to save that money. Don't just go, okay, great. Go to the next question. Ask them why. Why do you want to save that money so bad? Now, see, in my case, I told you guys in the beginning of the call that I was a business coach helping people build their business. I worked with real estate people. Do you guys remember what happened when the Great Recession hit to real estate? Gone. It was gone. I mean, there was nobody was making any income for at least 6 months. There was no income being made in real estate whatsoever, which meant no income meant they couldn't pay for coaches. It was really scary. I ended up losing my job along with half of my peers, and half the country actually was out of work for a little bit there. And it was really scary. Anybody experienced that during the recession? It was scary. And in my family, I'm the breadwinner. And so I had little kids, and it was scary. But look, we were blessed. I found work. We made it through. We made it through the recession barely, but we made it. We were okay. We were taken care of. But we used our savings and we stopped saving money. In fact, fast forward to, when did this journey start? What is it, 2018? Fast forward to 2014. Economy's good. I'm back in my career, doing great, making money, actually more money than I was before the recession. Guess what? Nothing going into savings. Zero, zilch, nothing. Anybody relate to that? You can all relate. You don't have to raise your hands. So this opportunity, I thought, wow, if I could put money in the bank, that would feel so good, because even with my job, which I felt great about, I wasn't able to save a penny, nothing. And I realized, by the way, I was at the top of my career, which meant I wasn't going to make any more money. So I didn't know how I was ever going to get ahead. Anybody, you know what I mean? Okay, so what would achieving this mean to you and your family? Next question. I thought to myself, if I could save that money long enough, then I would buy a new house for my family. I just wanted to get a new house. We'd outgrown our house. We had, at that time, we had 3 kids and 2 dogs. Now we have 4 kids. We were on top of each other. There was nowhere to go. Everyone was sharing a room, including my wife and I. We were sharing a room with baby. It was like the baby, the 2 dogs, and us shared a room. Yeah, we have Rottweilers too, so they take up a lot of space. So, I just wanted to have a little more space for my family. I dreamt of it. Our mortgage, we were upside down at the height of the recession, $250,000 on our mortgage, because I live in Southern California and the values went like they did everywhere. So this was exciting to me, to start saving money and maybe buy a new house someday. Next question. Why is that meaningful? How does this make you feel? Why is that meaningful? How does that make you feel? Now, this is the kind of question that I hate answering. How many of you guys, when you get to like the deep personal growth stuff, you're like, oh God, do I have to do this stuff? This hippy dippy stuff? Okay, but you do have to do it. Sorry. Okay, so here's what I discovered when I'm really thinking about this. It's not that buying the new house really wasn't the issue. I thought it was, because I was protecting myself from realizing the true feelings. You notice how we do that as people? Here's what I realized. It was about my family. The house represented my family. It was like a symbol. I was missing it. I just wasn't part of it. I wanted to be part of it. In fact, I'm one of those people, and I don't know, some of you guys may be this way. Like, I dreamt of being a dad my whole life. Even as a kid, I was like, when I'm a dad, I'm going to do it like this. I used to tell my dad, when I'm a dad, I'm not going to do it like you're doing it. Like, I always dreamt of having a family and being a dad and the whole, all of it. And here it had happened. And guess what? I never saw my kids. I was always working. I'd get up in the morning to leave for work. They're still in their pajamas. I'd kiss them goodbye and go to work. I would work all day doing what I felt was my duty, which was providing for my family. And then I'd come home in the evening, and through traffic and whatnot, they'd already finished dinner without me every night. And I'd put them to bed. That was my relationship with my kids. They were going to grow up and I wasn't going to be there for any of it. And then I had about 45 minutes of one-on-one time with my wife each night. That was it. Usually we were watching TV or doing something useless. Like, I was missing it. That's not what I wanted. I didn't sign up for this. How many of you guys have felt that way? And when I realized this, I started thinking about my why. Why would I want to build this business? This is an opportunity to do more. And I looked at my career and I thought, I love my career. I love the status that it gave me. But the truth of the matter was, I was already at the top of my career and we were completely stuck financially. There was no getting ahead. So a light bulb went off, guys, for me going through this process. A light bulb went off. I realized suddenly that instead of thinking of network marketing as my side gig, my extra money, I started thinking about my career and the salary as my side gig. Sure, I had to spend 9 hours a day there, but that was my side gig. My business that I was building was going to be my primary vehicle because it had the possibility of giving me the life I wanted, letting me be home with my kids, being part of their life, being part of every single one of their activities, right? Spending time with my wife, actually investing in my marriage. That's what I wanted to do. And I still wanted to buy a new house, right? Let's be honest. That was still there too. All right, so let me just share with you guys the first why that I wrote. And when you go into Teamzy, you'll see it's my why, the one that I wrote 4 years ago. Oh my gosh, it's only 4 years ago that this whole process started for me, you guys. It's in there as the sample text. This was what I wrote. To create a life where I never have to worry about money again. I enjoy quality time with my family and I'm present for my children on a daily basis. I'm healthy and full of energy. I wrote this down and everything changed. Within 3 months, by the way, I left my corporate career for good, was home working. Where, you might ask? In that tiny cramped house. I bought a shed over at Home Depot. You know, the ones they have out in front of Home Depot? I had it dropped in my backyard on the dirt where there used to be grass, but we had a drought in California, killed all the grass. It was on the dirt. I ran an extension cord out there to that shed. I built a desk out of an old closet door and a pallet. And I started building my business in a storage shed in my backyard. True story. Why? Because now I understood what was on the line. And this why, whatever you write in this last box, when you hit continue, will save to your dashboard. It's in front of you every day. I want you guys to read it out loud every day, because what happens is there's going to be days where you don't feel like doing your income producing activities. Anybody ever have those days? If you don't yet, if you do Teamzy for 5 days in a row, you're going to think you shouldn't have to do it on the 6th day because I'm so busy with all these conversations I'm generated. I should just coast on this. And then you have to confront your why. And you have to decide, do I want to stay stuck where I am? Or do I want to, in my case, create a life where I never have to worry about money again, where I enjoy quality time with my family and I'm present for my children on a daily basis, where I'm healthy and full of energy? Or do I want to stay stuck where I am? Then the decision is really, will I spend 30 minutes now crushing my power hour, because it's really more like 30 minutes in Teamzy, or will I stay stuck? And when you're confronted with that decision, it's easy to make the right one and keep building momentum in your business. Does that make sense? So don't skip this. I'm sorry I went off on such a passion tangent on it, but it's huge. So whatever you type in this box will save to your dashboard, okay? All right. By the way, I just want you guys to know, 4 years later, that why is just like Tuesday morning for me. It's just like a normal day. My kids go to a charter school, so they go on field trips every month. I chaperone every single field trip for both of my school-aged kids. I haven't missed any. I get to go to every single thing. I'm the Cub Scout leader for my son. I love the flexibility I have. And it's because of writing that why. How cool is that? And now that I own the company, I don't have to worry about anyone firing me. By the way, How many of you guys have read the Steve Jobs biography? Anyone read that? No? Okay, sorry. I won't go off on a tangent. Let's just keep going. Next, we're going to get your contacts in to Teamzy. So you're going to get from your back office, you want to get your first line promoters, first level promoters in, and then you want to get all your customers imported into Teamzy, okay? The next list you'll import is your Facebook friends. There's some videos here that help you with this. There's also FAQs, as I mentioned, on the Help Center page. Those of you who like to watch videos, there's videos. Those of you who want to read the instructions, there's written out instructions. So just hunt around for those, okay? But you want to get all your Facebook friends into Teamzy so that you're not going through Facebook willy-nilly. You'll be organized. Nobody will get missed. It's so powerful. Okay, and then anywhere else you have people lists, you can import them in. There's lots of different places where you might have contacts. You can bring them all into Teamzy so they're all organized there, okay? Cool. All right, so I'm going to skip this wizard now. We're not going to do the import right now. But there's one more step for setting up. It's called ranking. Now, notice that each person has a number next to their name. You guys see that? On the team page, you can rank everybody in your team page. So I'm going to turn on rank mode. This happens automatically after you do an import. I'll turn it on. We rank our relationships on a 5-star scale. How many of you guys understand that you rank things on a 5-star scale all the time? 5 stars is awesome. 1 star is not awesome. Okay, we rank them on a 5-star scale because this is an important principle. You need to spend more time with the best people, okay? Say it after me. Say it out loud in your own rooms. You need to spend more time with the best people. In other words, here's what you guys have heard, the 80-20 rule. 80% of your business growth will come from 20% of your relationships. So you need to talk to those people more often. The people that are on your team that are rock stars, the people that you just love, your favorite people, and the people that you feel are the best prospects. You need to talk to them more often. And so the way we do that is we rank them. So let's say Maynard is a hot prospect. I'll make him a 5. He's going to come up on my list to connect with every single month. Or if he's a 4, then he's going to come up every 60 days. If he's a 3, he'll come up every 90 days, right? If he's a 2, he'll come up every 120 days. This lets me work my entire list, but spend more time with the best people. Does that make sense? So what you're going to do is you're going to jam down this list in rank mode. Everyone's a 3-star to start, right? They default to 3 because they could go either way. Most of your people will stay 3 stars. And you're looking for the best people to make 4s and 5s, okay? That way, once you do this once, you never have to plan again. You never have to plan again. Teamzy will automatically create your list for you every day. You just turn it on and connect with whoever is up next. Does that make sense? You don't have to go looking for your notebooks or anything. Now, I'm just going to go through this real quick, what these definitions are, and then we'll do our power hour. So a 5-star is someone most likely to become a customer or promoter, or an existing customer or promoter that's a rock star. Okay, they're going to show up on your list every 30 days. These, by the way, they're going to show up just to connect with, to stay in touch, okay? A 4-star is someone likely to become a customer or promoter with a little nurturing. Okay, or they're the people on your team already or your customers that are solid. They're just your solid people. They show up every 60 days. 3 stars could go either way. They show up every 90 days. And 2 stars are getting colder. They show up every 120 days. Okay, 1 star will actually, they'll stay in Teamzy. You can look them up, but 1 stars will never come into your power hour. They're like the people you put in storage. Okay. All right. What do I want to do now? I want to do power hour with you. So let's go to the dashboard. Now, notice on the dashboard a couple of things. Today's activities, these are the goals we set and set up. So you can see my goals for today is to connect with 10 prospects, 6 customers, 4 promoters, invite 3 people to learn about the business, and add 3 people to my list. Okay? The power hour, right here, this big box in the center, is where we do our work. The left side has my up next lists, my prospects, my customers, my promoters, and my follow-ups. Okay, there's 4 lists. Each list only shows me 5 people at a time. That keeps me focused, and it keeps me from getting overwhelmed. Remember, your entire list, everybody you know is in the team page. You can get there, you can go through all the names, but on the dashboard, it's 5 at a time. On the right-hand side, this is where we log our information. This is where we log the communication we're doing. Okay, pretty simple. You don't really need to do anything outside of this page during your power hour. It keeps you super focused on what you need to get done. So here's how we do a power hour. Now, I've got open in a separate tab on my browser, Facebook, okay? Look, I'm already getting messages from Cheyenne. It's great. I'm going to use Facebook to do my messaging for the most part. Now, you can log any sort of communication in Teamzy, messenger, text message, calls, emails, Snapchat, Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever. I prefer Facebook Messenger because it works awesome and the response rate is higher than anything else. So right now, I recommend if you can get people on Facebook, that's the best way to connect with them. That's the preferred way, okay? So Jay is the first person on my list today, on my prospects. Now I'm gonna message her. Now this is where people get stuck because they think, oh my gosh, I've never even messaged Jay. What do I say to her? Maybe I don't even remember who she is. You guys ever see a name that you think, who is this person? That's okay. It's totally okay because she's my Facebook friend. Whether or not I know who she is, somehow we're Facebook friends. I'm going to message her anyways, right? Unless I look at her profile and she's spam, then you delete her, right? Okay. But in this case, Jay is a coworker. We worked together for years at my previous company. She's actually, full disclosure, she works for Teamzy now, so she doesn't mind me messaging her, so I'm going to message her. So now I'm going to message her, and I get stuck on what should I say. So I'm going to take a little shortcut right here in the bottom middle of the connect box. See where it says scripts? Can you guys see where I'm hovering? I'm going to click on that. Now I've put all of my scripts into Teamzy for you. There's over 100 scripts. They're just easy ways to start a conversation. I'm not expecting you guys to have a scripted conversation. I'm just trying to help you start the conversation that you're going to organically have. Make sense? So that you don't get stuck in analysis paralysis on the first message. You need to jam through these first messages so you can get to the good stuff. So I'm going to choose Facebook, and I'm just going to let's just take the first connect up there. Hi, Jane, just stopping by to say hello. How are you? I hope your day is awesome. By the way, this is the workhorse. This script has been used. I don't even know how many. I should have the guys do an analysis on this one for me in Teamzy, but it's been used thousands of times by me. And the response rate on this for me is better than 50%. Pretty good. Did you know if you could send an email that got 50%, you'd be the richest person in the world? All right, here we go. So this is what I did. I copied it. There's a little button that said copy script. I copied it to my clipboard. I'm just going to paste it in here. So now I'm going to do it in Teamzy so that I can edit it and not accidentally send it with the wrong name, which I've done. So it says Jane. I'm going to change the name to Jay. I'm going to add, it's one extra step, but it's a little safer because I've done it a few times. And by the way, if you send somebody the wrong name, it's okay. It usually gets a response. And then you just have to eat some humble pie and talk your way through it, and usually it's fine. So I like an emoticon or two. How many of you guys do emoticons in your messages? I like emoticons. Okay, so look, hi Jay, just stop by to say hello, how are you? Hope your day is awesome. The smiley face emoticon adds a little more friendly tonality to it, because remember, my goal is to make her day. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna actually copy this now that I've got it all set the way I want it. And I'm gonna jump over to Facebook, and I'm gonna look up Jay. Only takes me a second. You have to send messages through Facebook. Facebook doesn't allow anybody to send messages on their behalf anymore. You have to do it through Facebook, which is easy. So there's Jay. Boom, we're going to send her the message. I'm going to paste that in there. It's ready to go. Super easy. Send. Done. Now it's sent. Okay. I'm going to toggle back to Teamzy and finish logging it. That was a Facebook message. Now watch what happens. I'm going to click the big blue log connect button. That's how you log a connect, by the way. Great. Now it's logged. Jay's gone off my list. Notice she's disappeared. And now I have a 1 on my scoreboard. Next person, Cheyenne. Let's message her. Now check this out. I already have this. I don't even have to look it up because the script's already on my clipboard. Just change the name. It's funny because now people message me and say, I get messages. I get like 10 a day that say, thank you for Teamzy. It's changed my life, changed my business. And then I'll respond and they'll say, was that a script? I'm like, no, but what happens, the way you get a script is when you just automatically respond a certain way after a while, you're like, I should just put this somewhere where I can grab it easy. All right, so look, that's ready to go. I'm going to look her up real quick. There she is. Let's close this one out. You could also just message from here. Boom. Send the message, ready to go. Look, the emoticon's still in there from before. I didn't have to put it in again. I love it. Okay, done. Now, one little pro tip here, always use their name in the message. I've had people go, I just made my day 3% more efficient by putting, hey girl, and in my scripts and just copying and pasting them. What happens if you send, hey girl, 20 times in Facebook? They think you're a spammer because it's the same exact message. Okay, so that's sent. Now we're gonna log it. Facebook message, good, logged. Now I've got 2. Do you guys see how I can just go down my list quickly and get to 10? Don't overthink it. Do you always use the same script? Why not? Just use the same script, especially if it's your first time through your list, right? Next time if Cheyenne doesn't respond to me, I've heard sometimes she does that. Let's say she doesn't respond to me. I'm just kidding, Cheyenne. In 3 months, when she comes on my list again, or a month, I think she was a 5-star. She comes up next month, I'll send her a different script. Okay? Easy. I'll just grab the next one. No big deal. All right. So I'm going to keep going until I'm done with my prospects. Then I'm going to toggle over to my customers. The next list I'm going to connect with are my customers. This is so cool. How many of you guys wish that you stayed in better touch with customers? Now you have the system that makes it easy. Now, here's what I want you guys to understand. You do not need some overcomplicated customer care system. Now, some of you guys are going, my system's not complicated. When they sign up, I contact them 2 days after, then 11 days after. Then I contact them 1.6 days before their order replenishes. And then it's not complicated at all, Eric. Yeah, it's not complicated when you have 3 customers. It's complicated. Cheyenne, how complicated is it when you have a lot of customers? It's so complicated. So just keep it simple. Look, Teamzy's just going to bring them up. If you just do your power hour consistently, you'll stay in touch with everybody. Okay? And what do? The same thing, make their day. Now look, you get some scripts in here. We've got different ones for customers. They're so simple though. There's some great ones on asking for recommendations. Look, congratulations, you're doing great. Congratulations on, right? Someone just lost 5 pounds this week. Congratulations. Hi John, how are you enjoying the product? Send me an update. Let me know how I can be of help. These are so simple, you guys, and they make all the difference. Now, just really quick, here's my favorite one. Just checking in to see if there's anything I can do to make your day. Okay, really quick on this, because I know that I've taken a lot of time and there's still some good stuff I need to share with you guys, because I'm going to teach you how to follow up without being annoying in a second, which you guys want to stay for. But real quick, you got to stay in touch with your customers. I know you guys already raised your hands. You wished you did it better because you know that's part of the duty of owning a business is serving people. But I want you guys to know that if you are in regular contact with your customers, they will, write this down, they will order more. If you're in regular contact with customers, they will order more. Some of your customers are thinking of canceling. If you're in regular contact with them, they'll retain longer. Okay, they'll order more and they'll retain longer. How many of you guys have a team with a good amount of people on your team? If you get your team in regular contact with their customers, guess what happens to the whole volume of your downline? It goes up. Pretty cool, right? Now I've had leaders in my boot camp. I do a boot camp every quarter where leaders can join and they work with me and my partner Mike in the private group for 12 weeks. I've had people in the boot camp get their teams into a free trial and increase their volume 40% in 1 month. Just by being in touch. So being in touch with people, they will order more. That's the first principle I want you guys to know. But here's the cool part about it. It's also serving them better. It's a win-win, right? Now, the second thing that I want you guys to really get down, and this, how many of you guys would love a few great new customers right now? Great. And do you know where you're going to get them? Like, do you have an idea where they're hiding right now? I'm going to tell you. The best source for a new customer is a current customer. The best source for a new customer is a current customer. If you guys have people who are getting great results and that are excited about what you're doing, guess what they're doing? You already know. I don't even have to finish my sentence. They're talking to other people about it. Are you getting introduced to all the people they're talking to? And why not? The first reason why not is because you're not in consistent contact with them. Your customer walks into the break room at work, just lost 20 pounds, glowing. Somebody says, what are you doing? They tell them. That person is ready to buy. You got to be in touch with your customers so you can get introduced to them. Or they'll end up just Googling it and finding someone else and buying from them. And you had an opportunity to have somebody with trust referred by somebody you've already worked with who knows you. So start getting in touch with your customers. Get introduced. Just ask them, hey, is there anybody else? Look, Cheyenne, I just want you to know, I'm going to give you one of my dialogues right now. This isn't in Teamzy, so hopefully you'll get the recording if you can't down. Cheyenne, I just want you to know, working with you has been such an honor, and I'm so proud of you and the results you're getting. I just want you to know that if you have anybody that you care about who could benefit from what we're doing or might want some more information, I'd be happy to take care of them. Okay, so could you do me a favor? Can you think of anybody right now that might need that help or that I can help like that for you? Great. You can? Perfect. Would you do me a favor? Just quick introduce us. Like a Facebook chat or a group chat on text, whatever's easiest for you. Just if you introduce us real quick, I'll get them some information and we'll just leave it at that. How many of you guys think you could do something like that? Yeah. You got to be in touch though. I want you to know this. If you've never contacted your customer ever since you took their money and you message them tonight and tell them, I just want you to know that I want to help your friends. They'll be like, you loser. You don't even care about me. You just want the referral. Did you see the difference? Be in regular contact, serve, love, help. Then it's a natural extension of what you're doing for them to help their friends and family. So many people miss that. Start with is there anything I can do to make your day? Message. Send that to your 10 favorite customers tonight and watch what happens. Next, your promoters. So you've contacted, the goal was 6 customers. I've messaged 6 people. Bam. Now I'm going to go to my promoters. This is my team. Building the relationship. Why do you think we called this Teamzy and not Leadsy? It's Teamzy. It's about your team. People need connection with you as the leader. Personal connection. Having a Facebook page, doing live Zoom calls, those are great, but they need personal connection. And I talk to leaders with large teams and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so overwhelmed by how many people I need to connect with that I stop connecting with them. That's why help is here. It's called Teams. You guys are good. How many of you guys have a team, like 10 or less people on your team right now? Staying in touch with them is easy. Get the systems in place now so you can scale your business big, right? You put the systems in place now, like you already have your multi-million-dollar business, then your life doesn't fall apart as your business grows. Make sense? Okay. So the same thing, there's some scripts in here, but I just wanted to let you know I'm thinking about you. Is there anything I can do to help you? I'm proud of you for just little messages. They make all the difference. Okay. So your power hour, the first half of it, in this case, it's 20 connects, prospects, customers, promoters. That should take you 15 minutes. Do you guys realize that with what I showed you? 15 minutes, bam, 20 connects are out. Be disciplined not to respond until you're done putting them all out. They're going to start coming back to you. Just don't jump on the conversation until you've got them all done, or else you'll never finish. Now, so that's 15 minutes, prospects, customers, promoters. The next half is doing your follow-ups. Now, when you get to follow-ups, it's empty. Follow-ups are not automatic in Teamzy. You have to set them. You have to set them. So when is it appropriate to set a follow-up with somebody? Do I follow up with Jay when she doesn't respond to me? Do I set a follow-up and just see, did you get my message or why didn't you respond? No. Don't worry about them. If they don't respond, ignore them. They come back on Teamzy automatically later. Focus on the ones that do respond. Make sense? So I'm talking to, let's say Cheyenne responds. She says, I'm not one of those network marketing people, but no, I'm just kidding. I got to bust your chops because you invited me to this call. Don't worry. I know you can take it. Let's say Cheyenne responds to me and says, thanks, Eric, for messaging me. It's been a long time. How are you? We're great. How are you? I say, oh my gosh. My life is amazing right now. Whatever. We start having conversation, messaging back and forth. I'm going to start asking her questions so that I can get caught up on what she's doing. I want to figure out if there's any way I can help her today. So the first message was just to make her day and get her to smile. Now she's responded. I'm going to try to catch up with her and figure out if there's any way I can help her. I'm going to ask questions. If you have somebody who sends you back just like a 2-word response and it's like they're not ready to talk, one little phrase that works so well at starting a conversation, I'm just going to teach you guys here right now, is this. Send me an update. Send me an update. Is that crazy? Just those few words. Oh, we're great. Or thumbs up. Well, send me an update. What have you been up to? Try that. Works great. So we're going to have a conversation. Some of those conversations won't go anywhere. They fizzle out. No big deal. Message them again on Teamzy when they come up in a few months. Hey, it's been a while since I last reached out. What are you guys up to now? And over time, they're going to be like, wow, this person is really interested in talking to me. That's great. And I'm going to have a conversation. Some people will right away, if you had a good relationship with them, even if you've lost touch, they might jump right in. Oh my gosh, we're great. How are you? What are you doing? So Cheyenne and I are talking back and forth. We're messaging back and forth. She's telling me about everything that they're doing out in beautiful God's country. And I'm telling her what it's like to live in homes that are 3 feet apart from your neighbor, sandwiched together on ridges in California, hoping an earthquake doesn't wash us into the ocean. And so we're talking, right? And she says, at some point, as I'm interested in her, she says, what about you? How are you doing? How's work? I said, well, truth be told, I haven't had a job for 3 years. You haven't had a job in 3 years? No, I have my own business. What are you doing? So I'm going to tell her. So many people are afraid to talk about their business because they feel like they're being an icky salesperson. I want you guys to know that it is natural in a conversation to tell somebody what you do and why you're passionate about it. Okay? I'm not trying to sell her when I tell her it's been amazing. When I tell her that for 3 years I haven't had a job. When I tell her that I don't stress about money and I get to be with my kids every day and go on all their field trips. How many of you guys, when I told you that, thought that sounded cool? Did you feel like I was trying to sell you Teamzy at that moment? I was just telling you my experience. So I'm going to share that with her. So we're talking, oh my gosh, that's amazing. Really? That's cool. So I'm starting to, I'll sense in that conversation if she's interested in learning more, and I'll ask her. You can tell if somebody's really, if their defenses are up because they know that you're doing this and they're defensive, that's fine. And then just don't push it on that first conversation. But I can tell she's interested. So I'll say, Cheyenne, are you, you'd probably be really great at this too. Would you be interested in learning a little bit more about it? Maybe, I guess maybe, right? You usually get something like that. Great. Well, no big deal. Well, actually my team's doing an event tonight it's virtual. You can do it from home. You just tune in. We're going to be sharing some stories and talking about the business and learning about the opportunity. If you're interested in learning more, it's a great way for you to do it from the comfort of your own home. I'll send you the link if you're interested. She's, yeah, send it to me. I'd be interested in checking that out. Great. I'm going to send you that link right now, Cheyenne. And I tell you what, I'll follow up with you tomorrow and see if you have any questions. She says, great. Perfect. This is an invite. Does that make sense, guys? Not everybody gets an invite. Remember, my goal was 3 out of my 20. So I'm hoping that some of those conversations will develop quickly and I'll send them an invite. Some of the other ones may take months before they get to an invite because we have to develop them. So how do I do it in Teamzy? I'm going to look her up. Oh, I need more letters, don't I? There she is. That brings me to her contact record. She's not on my dashboard anymore. I'm going to open the connect box by clicking the big blue connect button. Now notice right here in the bottom of the connect, it says invite. See that? I'm going to click on that. Now I'm going to move it from the default, which is just a connect, and I'm going to put it on opportunity call. Okay. So now Teamzy knows I'm inviting her to an opportunity call. Let's see. I'm going to email her the link. Opportunity link. Now I just put opportunity link, but I might have actually had an invite email that I have saved as a script, right? So I would save all the emails that I would send to invite somebody. Let's say they wanted to learn about a product or whatever, anything. I would have those saved as scripts. You can create your own scripts in Teamzy and save them. So I could just grab it and send it to her. Make sense? Save time, which is so awesome, especially when you're on your mobile somewhere, you're on your phone and someone's like, they message you like, yeah, could you send me information on, you're like, yeah. They're like, wow, that was quick. Yeah, it's in my scripts. Okay, so look, I'm going to send this, but see, I've set it up now as an invite. Now, before you log this, is really important. See right next to it, see where it says follow up? I have to set a follow up. Otherwise, she's not coming back on my dashboard for a month. I told her I'd follow up when? Are you guys paying attention? I said I'd follow up tomorrow. So I'm going to set this for tomorrow. Now, when I log this, you can see the follow up is set on her record. Let me go to the dashboard real quick. When I go to my follow-ups list, there she is. Okay, so every time I invite somebody, I put them on my follow-ups list. Now, what am I going to do with her on my follow-ups list? I am going to follow up relentlessly with her until she purchases. Now, real quick, let me show you how to do it, and then I'm going to explain to you how to do it, not just in Teamzy, but how to actually follow up like a pro. So here she is. I come to my follow-ups list tomorrow while I'm doing my power hour. I do my prospects, my customers, my promoters. It takes me 15 minutes, and then I start working my follow-ups list. I go to Cheyenne. I'm going to do the same thing I do for a regular connect. I'm going to go to scripts, and I'm going to grab a follow-up script. By the way, my 10 follow-ups are in Teamzy in order. You can just use mine. Follow-up number 1. Hi, Jane, just checking in like I promised I would. What questions do you have for me? First one, copied. Okay. Same thing. We're going to do it exactly the same way like we did a regular connect, except now it's follow-up. Oops, missed an N. Okay. I'll Facebook Messenger that. Let's just do it. Let's just do it. I think I still have her up on Facebook too. See, look, she's already responding. This stuff works. It does, actually. Boom, there's the follow-up sent. Okay, look, now I'm going to log it in Teamzy. Now, but pay attention, guys. I have to set a new follow-up. Because when I log this connect, it clears that I finished this follow-up. I need to set a new one. So let's say I follow up again in 2 days. Okay, so now I've logged it. It's logged. Teamzy knows I did a follow-up. See, look, I got follow-up 1 done right there. And now she's on my list again for Friday. Okay, so on Friday, I'm going to do it again. I'll go into scripts and I'll get follow-up number 2. How easy is this? Come on, really? Follow-up number 2. All right, so let me talk to you about this real quick. You guys know the fortunes in the follow-up, right? Yeah. Let me see. Wait, I'm going to go to gallery view so I can see everybody's faces. Those of you who aren't hiding behind your cameras. Did you guys know this statistic? 80% of all sales happen between the 7th and 10th follow-up. Have you guys heard that? 80% of all sales happen between the 7th and 10th follow-up. Some of you guys have seen me talk about this. Hey, Missy, I see Missy there in the middle. She's been through this. You're a trooper for sitting through this twice. How many of you guys will follow up 10 times on a qualified lead? A couple. That's great. Good for you guys. But you guys, some of you guys I know have already been through this training, so it might not be. You might be ringers. I put you in here. Those of you guys who didn't raise your hand, is the main reason you don't follow up because you're worried about being super annoying? Yes? Let's just be honest. Okay. So I'm going to teach you right now how to do it without being annoying. Okay? It's actually quite simple, but people will not only not be annoyed, they will thank you from the bottom of their hearts for your follow-up. Okay? And it's really simple. There's 2 principles. By the way, those scripts I just showed you are already built on those principles. So you don't have to think, you can just use those. You can get your team just to use those. But you need to have a mindset shift first on this. Because, well, first of all, let me just ask you this. How many of you guys believe you can change lives with what you represent? Anybody here just, let's just be pragmatic. Anybody here just to make some money? Like that's your main motivation? Nobody? Good, because you're in the wrong training if that's you. If you want to change people's lives, don't they need to first get some of the product? Honestly, can you, I know you can help them in lots of ways that's free, but let's be honest. Step 1 is getting them the product, right? So in other words, until they purchase, your product and how awesome it is kind of irrelevant. You could be selling thumbtacks. So here's what we know. 80% of people will purchase between 7 and 10 follow-ups, which means 80% of the lives you have an opportunity to change will not be changed unless you follow up 7 to 10 times. So if you want to change people's lives, if you have love in your heart, the only tool you have to express that is following up. That's why I always say following up is an act of love. Remember in the beginning I said love is something you do? Following up is an act of love. Write it down on a little note, put it on your computer, remind yourself following up is an act of love. That's your mindset shift. Now I'll teach you how to do it without being annoying. Okay? 2 principles. Write these down. 2 principles. Principle 1, never ask someone to do anything in your follow-up. Don't ask them to do anything in your follow-up. Okay, that's annoying. Don't ask them to call you back. How many of you guys love getting that voicemail? Please call me back with no message. Super annoying. Don't ask them to text you back. Don't ask them to complete their purchase. Don't ask them to RSVP for your event. Don't ask them to do anything in a follow-up. Okay? First thing. The second thing is, you can even go so far, by the way, as saying, you don't have to call me back. Don't bother if you want. The second thing is your follow-up should be in texted format. It should be sent best case scenario, Facebook Messenger, second best text message. And it should be short. Short enough they can read the whole message on their notifications. Why is that? because just like you, your prospects are not going to open the message because they don't want you to know they've seen it. Why? Because they're not going to respond to it. And if they haven't seen it, they can pretend like they just didn't see it. Right? You guys do this too. I'm here to tell you, for the majority of people, the vast majority of people, nothing you put in that follow-up will get them to respond to the first 5 or 6. There's no way to do it, and except for being a jerk and getting them mad at you, which you don't want anyways, right? So they're not going to respond. They're not going to open your message. So make it easy for them. Here's the goal of the follow-up. It's just to let them know you're there, that you're caring about them, and to keep you on their mind. That's it. Make sense? So you're going to follow up, you're going to follow up, you're going to follow up. You tell them when you invite them, I will follow up with you. I'll be here to help you. Let them know. Then you're keeping your word and you're building trust by doing it. Make sense? What will happen is, so here's, how am I doing on time? No, I'm way past time. I won't go into the psychology of it. Did I go into the psychology of it on the last call, Cheyenne? Where we talked about the subconscious mind, how it protects you and all that stuff. Okay, good. You can share that part with your team later. That'll be an extra video. Here's what happens. Around 5 or 6 follow-ups, and it may take you a couple weeks to get there depending on how often you follow up. People will suddenly respond with, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that I haven't responded to any of your messages. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for following up with me. I really appreciate it. Right? And you'll be surprised because around 3 or 4, here's what usually happens to you guys. How many of you guys, this is the case? Around the 3rd or 4th follow-up, you're thinking, what a jerk. She doesn't even respond. Right? Like, who does that? She was so excited, and then now she doesn't even respond. She doesn't respect my time. Did I offend her? Oh, I know what it is. She's broke. She's cheap. Her husband's overbearing. How many of you guys have created some of these stories for yourself on why no one responded? Okay, that's just fiction. We have this need to feel quiet in a conversation with our own conversation. It's not true. None of that's true. People who love you, who respect you, who are excited about the product still won't respond. It's just the way our subconscious mind is wired to protect us from what's perceived as scary. That's why people purchase between 7 and 10, is because the persistent reminder of the opportunity slowly erodes that defense mechanism and they're able to think about it. Okay? So just keep going. Just keep messaging them. Keep loving them through it. I want you guys to know following up is an act of love. Follow the Teamzy system. Nobody will fall through the cracks. Just keep them on your follow-ups list. Just keep following up every couple of days. Send them a new message. You will stay top of mind until they're ready to respond. Okay? It only takes you like 1 or 2 seconds to send that to each person. Love them through the process. On the flip side of that, not following up, giving up after 3, creating a story in your mind of why they're not responding and giving up on them communicates this: I don't care enough about you to continue following up. I want to change lives, just not yours. You're too much work. Right? That's not what you want to communicate. Love people through the process. 90% of your coaching is getting them to the first purchase. With me? So you're going to keep doing it in Teamzy. Every time you do a follow-up in Teamzy, you set the next one before you log it. So every time you come in here, you set the next follow-up. So she stays on your follow-ups list. Keep her on her follow-ups list. Now, eventually, Cheyenne will see reason. She's going to sign up. She's going to become a promoter on the team. And this is how I finish her off in Teamzy. I'm going to look her up again. Wait, her name's not promoter. Not yet. Cheyenne. There she is. I'm going to log the sale so that I know that I got a result. Let's put her in as, let's see, what do we want? Upgrade pack promoter. Let's do that. Great. Whatever the case may be, put it in there. Boom. Okay. Great. Now I'm going to move her member type from prospect to promoter. I'm going to click on that and then personally enrolled. Now that's moved her on from my prospects list. Now she's going to live on my promoters list. Okay. That's where she'll show up next time. I'll continue to build my relationship with her there. How cool is that? Okay, so that's how you do a power hour in Teamzy. So the first part of your power hour is outgoing messages to start conversations. The second part of your power hour is follow-ups that you've set as you've invited people throughout the week. Make sense? Okay. Now, you actually need another power hour somewhere in your day where you're just messaging, responding to all the messages. If you're not able to set that, what you may find is that you are messaging all day long. You will generate a ton of momentum doing this. You will get a lot of messages. If you did the 20 a day like I just showed you for 5 days in a row, you'd probably get a 50% response rate, which means by Friday, you might be managing as many as 50 conversations on Messenger. Positive problem, right? Yes. In fact, some of you will go, oh my gosh, this is so overwhelming. This is what having a busy business is like. How many of you guys ever worked in a restaurant or retail when it got crazy busy? Right? I grew up working in restaurants, and some people would get in the weeds. You know, that was the term we use in restaurants. They're in the weeds, like it's too much. They can't handle it. You know, I worked in a restaurant making tips. In fact, I started my career late because I made so much money bartending and making tips that it was hard to start a career, right? Because I was making so much money. When it would get crazy busy, I was like, this is when we're gonna make money. Like, this is the time. This is what your business will be like when you start building relationships. You're gonna be like, oh my gosh. You don't need to get worried out, freaked out, or get in the weeds, because you've got the Teamzy system to make sure that people aren't falling through the cracks. You just got to work your way through those conversations, love on people, help them, uncover their interests. What an awesome way to build a business though, right? Okay. Now, there are more than 100 messages in the chat, which I will not going to be able to read right now while I'm live. So if you guys have questions, I will take some questions. Just unmute and ask, and I'll be happy to answer anything.
I have a question. I've been utilizing this, and I think that the videos are really helpful in getting your customer lists in. I was asking somebody, is there a way to do that with your LinkedIn contacts?
Yeah.
To import them in as well? Because I didn't see that.
Yeah, if you go to, so it's not a video, but they're in the FAQs. We do have that one here. I'll show you real quick.
Okay, I missed that. Sorry.
No big deal. I'll just show you because other people may be wondering the same thing. So you go to, from Teamzy, you go to Help Center right here.
Mm-hmm.
And then just scroll down to the FAQs. And there is one here here it is, LinkedIn connections.
Okay, great.
Okay. So there it is. So it's just step by step.
Wonderful. Thank you for that.
Sure thing. Any other questions? Oh, I need to give you guys action steps. Okay, so think about your next question. I'm going to give you your action steps really quick. This is an important piece. Where did my presentation go? There it is. All right, hold on. Here's your action steps. Get your 30-day free trial. That's the no-brainer, right? It's free. Go get your 30-day free trial. Get ready to rock. A lot of you guys think that the summer is a slow time. That's just because you slow down. Go and get your 30-day free trial and watch how much momentum you can create in the middle of summer, okay? If you're using a free trial already, set up your subscription so that you won't lose access when your free time's up, okay? You can set up a subscription during a free trial. You won't get billed until after the free time. Next, I want you guys to get a 30-day success partner to do the trial with you, okay? Get a 30-day success partner. Here's what you're gonna do. Commit to each other on what you're gonna do daily in Teamzy. And then each day when you complete your action steps for the day, I want you to screenshot the part of the dashboard that shows that you completed all your goals for today. Screenshot that and message it to your partner. Do it every day, however many days a week you guys agree to work. This will be so motivating because you won't do your work, but your partner will. And then it'll piss you off and you'll have to do it, right? And you'll get more out of it. You'll get way more out of it. This is a great way to do business too. And you'll notice that leaders, we've got a few top leaders on this team. They connect, they talk to each other, they push each other, they hold each other accountable. That's what you guys need to do too. And then I'm going to give you a 5-day challenge. The 5-day challenge is this. During your trial, or if you're already using Teamzy, I'm going to give you the 5-day challenge anyways. I want you to connect with 100 people in 5 days. No days off, 5 days in a row, 100 people. That's an average of 20 a day, which is what I demonstrated here today. Because I want you to feel the amount of momentum you can create in just 5 days relationally. Just starting conversations with people, okay? So accept that challenge. You will be hooked. It's going to be addictive for you if you can do that. Who's in for the 5-day challenge? Let me see some public accountability. Okay, good. I want you guys to know, average Teamzy users that are active who are doing what I demonstrated today, connecting with 20 people a day, they are getting an average of 21 new customers, 9 new recruits to their team, and 315 prospects added to their list over 90 days. Okay, so those are the people that are consistently doing what I showed you today. They're not doing crazy things, huge numbers. They're just consistently building those relationships. Does that make sense? It's like if I told you, hey, if I gave you a 30-minute workout and you did this 6 days a week for 6 months, how many of you think you'd be in better shape? It's about being consistent and following the system. Okay, any questions? I know I took you off questions, but I want to take a couple.
Hey, Eric, I have a question.
Oops, who else is going?
I think it's Michelle.
Okay.
Mine is real quick. There's a couple of my team members that don't have computers. Is there a quick or easy way to copy and paste a list that you know of to get it into a spreadsheet?
You mean for the just for the initial import?
Yes.
Okay, so here's the thing. It's web-based, so they can borrow a laptop. They could go, I've had people go to the library and use the computer for a minute. You only need to do that once. And here's the other thing. This is important too, because I've had people wrestle for an entire day with their import and then send the mangled spreadsheet to our tech team. And there were like 6 names on it. Right? And so if you have a large team, you need to bulk import. If you have people with a small team, they can just put them in manually. It's super easy. And let me just show you guys how to do that, because I don't think I showed you that really quick. And I thought to myself, oh, I feel so terrible that this person spent all day like literally irritated and mad, and they literally could have done this in 5 minutes. So if I wanted to add a new person, I just click this little purple circle. And I gotta try to remember how your name was spelled. Is that right? Not even close. I don't remember. Your name's not in front of me anymore, but that's how easy it is to add somebody, okay? So if they're on your team, you could have added them as a promoter, right? Personally enrolled. You could have done that on the end. So you could just go through and put them in manually if they have a small team. If they have a large team and they don't have a computer, my first thought is they should buy a computer. They have a large team. Write it off their taxes. But if they don't have a computer, yeah, borrow one, go to the library, do whatever you need to do to get that piece done. Get a friend's house. They can meet you, borrow your computer for a minute for that stuff. Okay, it's pretty easy to do. And as far as, I don't remember, I think you guys they don't really have an export, right? You have to copy and paste it. Yeah. So for those people who are just like super intimidated by spreadsheets, if they could just copy and paste it messy and they could send it to our help desk, our team will clean it up and import it for them. So, okay. So just know that, like, if you get somebody who's just like, I always say it's like moving into your dream home. How many of you guys have moved homes? It's stressful, right? And the thought of moving sometimes is stressful, but the promise of getting into your dream home is awesome. So it's like moving. You're going to move in. We'll help you with the move. So if you don't feel comfortable doing it, like, hire the movers. We'll help you with the move. Once you get unpacked, though, you get to live there. Make sense? So don't be intimidated by that. We'll help you through that. That's the other option is staying stuck with what you're doing, having people fall through the cracks, not being organized, feeling like you're not making any momentum, and this feeling that a lot of people have that I'm not the kind of person that's going to go spam my people, so I'm not going to be successful. And so the one thing I want you guys to know, and I think you got this, and I want you to share with your teams, is there is a way to do this business with heart, relationship centered, where you're not burning any bridges, but you're still systematic. You're still following through and you're still doing the activity. You're just doing it in a little different way. Make sense? Janelle, did you have a question a minute ago and we cut you off?
Oh, just Michelle beat me to it. It really wasn't a question. I defer to her, yes. When I've been doing my Teamzy, I've come up with, I set my bar high. And a couple of my dailies, there's just nobody there in the contact list because I've already burned through them. And that's somewhat disappointing to me because, like, I don't have anybody to talk to on, today. How do you usually handle something like that? I mean, do you just rate them higher so they come up, quicker until, that those numbers grow?
Great question. Okay. Yes, you can rate them higher. You may have them rated too low. That's possible. But the number one thing you need to do is focus on building your list. Okay, so you need to build your list. If you're running out of people, you need to build your list. So think about this. First off, who are the people you know who aren't on your list yet?
Yeah, because I am working to add, that is something that I definitely focus on.
So you got to be adding people. So start thinking about, who do you know that's not on here yet? You can start with your Facebook friends and look at their friends and say, oh yeah, I know this person, and start adding friends. You want to start meeting people. If you're not really well networked and don't have a large network, you need to think about, well, how can I meet people? How can I get out and about in my community, meet people? How can I get involved in things on social media and meet people? Can I get engaged in some Facebook groups where I can add value and meet people? Some people use Instagram to meet people. So meeting people is going to be your priority, but the difference is you're meeting people so that you can build a relationship with them. And from the relationship, over time, they might become your advocate. That's what you hope. And by the way, the part I didn't really talk about too much here is that each relationship you invest in will bring you multiple people. I call it the times 12. Every single person I invest in, I expect will bring 12 people to my business over time. By the way, there's how many of you guys are on the call? So, right? And so that's the other piece. That's the thing that building a relationship is so great, is because you build a foundation of your business. And I talk to a lot of people across networks who are at the very top of the compensation plan, right? The people you guys all look up to, we've got a couple on the call. You look up to those people and they're why are they coming to you, Eric, for help? They're already successful. Well, this is what they tell me. I did this the opposite way that you teach, Eric. And I got here grinding it out. And here now I'm at the top and there's no foundation of my business. If I don't continue grinding it out like that, I can't stay here. And so what happens is a lot of people, they tell me all the time, oh my gosh, Eric, I wish I had this when I started, because I wouldn't have to work so hard now, because I would have all those solid relationships underneath me building and referring. And now they're trying to kind of like backfill. It's like you're at the top of a skyscraper with no girders underneath you, and you're building it backwards, right? So those of you guys who are, and I know, I can see like a couple of them going, yeah, just managing your team, things like that. Those of you guys who are starting out and you don't have a long list, like, be excited. This is a great way to build your list and have an organized way. But honestly, you got to look at that and go, hey, if I want to get to my goal, I need to know more people. Right? But here's the thing. I guarantee you there's 300 people you haven't thought of yet that you already know. Okay? And all you have to do is make their day. So I still do a little bit of real estate consulting on the side, just a little. I keep trying to make it too expensive so I don't have to do it anymore. But somebody always still hires us. My partner, Mike, and I we always have a couple of real estate teams we're working with. And we have a team we're working with in Los Angeles, and they do about $70 million in sales a year. It's a good living, right? Real estate people make 3%. So you do the math. And same problem you have, So I said, how many people do you have on your list that you're connecting with? And she told me she had 482 people on her list. I pulled up her Facebook, and guess how many friends she had on Facebook? 3,900. I said, well, what about the other 3,400 people? She's like, oh, should I be connecting with them? So everybody has more they don't think of connecting with for their business. Does that make sense? So hopefully that helped. Any other questions that came up, guys? Okay, so here's the thing. Some of you guys are here twice. I appreciate you guys sitting through this twice. Did you get new nuggets this time? Okay, good. I never know where I'm going to go off on a tangent. The truth is that I could spend a month on every one of these topics with you guys. That's why I try to do the boot camp, which is still like, I can't even get close to teaching everything I want to teach you guys. But here's what I hope you got from this. I hope you understand that you can do this by building relationships. I hope you'll give Teamzy a try, at least for the free trial, try it out and get some system behind it. Okay. And then of course, we'll be very, very, very honored to have you join our family and ongoing. Okay. Oh, I didn't tell you the price. So after your 30-day free trial, you have two options. You can go monthly. So it's $29.99 US. Is everybody here in the US? $29.99 US dollars a month to keep your Teamzy subscription going, right? You can cancel at any time if you want. We don't hold you to anything like that. Or if you really love it, you can do a year, 12 months at a time subscription, and you'll save $60 a year that way. So you save a little bit of money. Cool? So get in there and give it a shot. Work it out. Use that 30-day free trial. Get your success partner. Just hold each other accountable. Do your 5-day challenge. And let's watch your business grow.
Eric, can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah, please.
You mentioned the boot camp thing. What is that? Can you expand on that just a little bit?
Yeah. Do I have any boot campers in this group?
No, but I want to be one.
Yes, I do. Missy, you're in the boot camp. Yeah. Maybe I'll have her tell you guys what it is. Okay, so the boot camp is basically, you know, we launched Teamzy just a little over 2 years ago and realized that people were using it and loving it, but so many people, they weren't understanding really how to have a conversation. They weren't understanding how to invite people. They weren't understanding all the little nuances of relationship marketing. And they needed an environment to be accountable, to be around. The other thing, they needed to be around other people who were really highly motivated. So we created this boot camp thing in January. We launched it and we just said, hey, you know, we wanted leaders in the industry. We launched it, and I basically, with my partner, Mike Lopez, I created 12 weeks of training. And so each week, it's a 12-week program. Each week has a specific topic that we give training on, and we focus on doing that week. It's not just like the kind of thing where you buy lifetime access to these videos you never watch. It's like, this week we're doing this, and I want you guys to do it. And everybody posts. We have a Facebook group where we expect everybody to post done every day when they do their stuff. Now, does everybody do it 100%? Of course not. But I do usually have a handful of people who do it 100%, and then I make videos of them because they absolutely obliterate their business in a good way. But most people will do much more than they would do on their own, and they find themselves at a new level of business, which is so awesome. So we take people through that. Every 12 weeks, we start a new one. We actually have a new one coming up in July. It's coming up in the next couple of weeks. So if you guys have a Teamzy free trial, you'll start getting emails promoting it. Okay. And I will, for 10 days, I just want to warn you guys, those of you guys, hopefully if you're still here after all this time I've been on with you guys, you like me enough that you'll still like me after in 10 days, you get about 30 emails from me. But it only lasts for 10 days where I blitz you about the bootcamp. I just feel really passionately about it. Now, we built this originally for leaders. But we still get a lot of top leaders, but we get a lot of people that are brand new in the business too. That here's the thing: you don't have to have a track record of success yet in your business. You just have to have the heart of a champion. Does that make sense? You have to be willing to learn and willing to apply what you have and willing to go for it for 12 weeks. And then if you want to do that, you can join the bootcamp. So again, I didn't mean to pitch that tonight, but that is coming up soon. The other thing that we do in the boot camp is we do live coaching calls each month during the boot camp, where we come in and we do little additional trainings with you guys, with the group in the Facebook group. So keep an eye out for that. I don't know, Missy, do you want to say anything about it? I know you've been in the group, this current one.
There I am. Sorry about that. Well, Eric, this was week 8 in boot camp, and it was especially close to my heart because I literally built this business on customers' referrals. And, you know, that I didn't know how to present the opportunity, so I just ran with what I knew, and that was caring for people and helping them to live a better life. And in the end, it ended up being the right thing because when you build a strong customer base, like you said, you have a foundation to build your business up on. And I'm seeing other leaders who did build from the opportunity. I wish I'd be better than that. I'm not a recruiter, but I know I have a business with a strong foundation, like you said. And I cannot wait till week 10, which is, I think you called it overcoming objections with heart.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah.
So you can't wait, because the way we do boot camp is you only get one video each week. Because again, just like Teamzy, I want you to be focused on what we're doing this week. And we really can't process all that information at once anyways. But yeah, we find that it's like, they're like, when are we going to get this one? So the truth is I keep reordering all the videos each week, each boot camp. I'm like, oh, this one needs to be sooner. So we keep changing the order. But anyways, thank you for saying that. I'm glad. And I know that you had posted that you really liked the training this week. This week is all about how to duplicate your current customers. It's how to get your customers to bring people to you. I gave you guys 2 minutes on it tonight. But there is a system to that. In fact, I think, just on a side note, Missy, I'm talking with Mike about creating another program maybe next year that's going to be 12 weeks just on that topic. I think there's enough there on referrals and repeat generating that business that we could do a whole boot camp just on that. So we'll see. Maybe I'll only let people do it if they graduated from the first one, so I know they know the basics. The thing that's kind of blown me away with boot camp is I thought it was going to be for people who've been using Teamzy, but more than half of the people that have been signing up for boot camp had never even used Teamzy before they started. And somebody just told them they should do this with them. And so I've had to kind of teach people how to turn on their internet browser, step one type thing, which is all good. So anyways, thank you guys for asking that. If you're interested in that, it's coming up in a week or so. It's really inexpensive. I think it's like $300 for the whole thing. So, but to my chagrin, this was another thing, because now that I'm seeing the results people are getting, I'm like, we probably should have charged more for it, but that's all good. We want it to be accessible for you guys. Any other questions before I say good night and goodbye and bless you guys? I got to go tuck my kids out. I can hear them running around out there.
I just want to say thank you very much for giving us this opportunity. I thanked Missy earlier, because without Missy, I wouldn't have known about this. And as you heard me say earlier, I had seen it, but I didn't understand the value of what this is. And so pushing this out to the team and giving them the opportunity to do this if they want, I'm very grateful. And thank you for taking time out of your night to share with us.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me. My hope is that those of you who needed this tonight got what you needed. So thank you for having me, guys. God bless you. Have an awesome night. We'll talk soon. And I'll send you that recording tomorrow.